Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, welcome you all to the industrial pharmacy class. As you know, today is the second week after the midterm examination, overall after the midterm examination, that is the our third lecture. And in today lecture, recalling from the previous lecture in which we have studied and discussed in detail about the end process quality control test, that what is meant by the end process quality control test. And that particular lecture we also discussed in detail about the two end process quality control test for the sterile product. The first we have discussed, that is the sterility test and different aspects of the sterility test and different media used for the sterility test, and which we have also studied the media used for the bacteria and the media used for the fungi, as well as aerobic bacteria, anaerobic bacteria, and the incubation temperature as well as the incubation time for both the testing of the fungi and the bacterial incubation. And as well as we have also studied the leaker test or leakage test, in which the chamber that is used and that particular test is performed for sterile product, that is on and process quality control test for the parental as well. Dear students, in today lecture we will discuss and process quality control test. But remember that we will study and discuss in detail the pyrogen test and clarity test. These are also in process quality control tests. These are performed for the sterile and parental product as well. Dear student, the main focus of this lecture is to learn about the pyrogen test and clarity test that is performed for the parental or sterile products. Dear student, after the completion of this lecture, you will be able to know about the different aspects of the test regarding the parental and these two tests, that is termed as pyrogen test and clarity test for the sterile product. First of all, we will discuss in detail the pyrogen test, that is what is meant by the pyrogen, and how the test is performed and what is the significance of this test. Pyrogenic means producing fever or body temperature rising, as we have studied in the pharmacology and different other courses about the pyrexia or antipyretic drugs. Antipyretic drugs are those drugs which are responsible for the body temperature rise control, and that's why because of the pyrogen. Pyrogen means producing fever, and pyrogen means fever inducing substances. Having both the exogenous and pyrogens are exogenous, that means that it is inside the body, and it is termed as endogenous or exogenous. Endogenous, that is inside the body, and having if pyrogens are outside the body, it means that these are exogenous nature. These two nature may be of the pyrogen. Pyrogen are those materials or those substances which produce fever or which increase the body temperature. Exogenous pyrogens, that is mainly lipopolysaccharide bacterial origin, but not necessary, but mainly that is the lipopolysaccharide bacterial origin, that is exogenous, that is found outside the body. Structure of endotoxin, if we focus on the structure of endotoxin, endotoxins are mostly produced by the gram-negative bacteria, and endotoxin is a complex of pyrogenic lipopolysaccharide. It is the composition of the endotoxin, that is the composition of complex of pyrogenic lipopolysaccharide, a protein, and inert lipid. That is the composition. That endotoxin is composed of the complex pyrogenic lipopolysaccharide and a protein and inert lipid. Remember that the last one, that is the inert lipid, that particular part in the structure of endotoxin, that is the lipid part or inert lipid of the lipopolysaccharide as the main pyrogenic agent, while the polysaccharide, that is also the part of the endotoxin, that is the polysaccharide part, increases the solubility. The main pyrogenic part in the lipopolysaccharide, that is the lipid, that is the main part, that is the pyrogenic agent, and it causes the pyrexia, while the polysaccharide part, as you know, that is the lipo, and polysaccharide, lipo is for lipid, and polysaccharide, that is for the polysaccharide. Polysaccharide is responsible for the enhancing the solubility, while the lipid part, that is the main part of the lipopolysaccharide, that is pyrogenic agent, that is to be remembered. And sources of pyrogen contamination. There are different sources of pyrogen contamination at a product or the environment may be pyrogenic. Solvent. The first one is solvent. Possibly the most important source, that is the solvent, maybe aqueous or non-aqueous solvent, which is possibly the most important prime source of the pyrogenicity. The second is that may be the medicament, if the medicament is contaminated from the pyrogen, and that's why the pyrogen may be produced due to the medicament. The apparatus, if the apparatus is not properly sterilized, and the apparatus or equipment that is used, the machine that is used, get entry of the contamination, that is of pyrogen nature, that become a source of the pyrogen. And the last one is the method of storage between preparation and sterilization. If we prepare the formulation and we are going to store, and from the preparation to the sterilization process, the pyrogen may be become part of the formulation or preparation that we have prepared. That's why the aseptic techniques are the proper procedure or standard operating procedure during the storage condition should be also maintained in order to avoid the contamination from the pyrogen, because there are several reasons that pyrogen contain the endotoxin. Endotoxin is the main part of the pyrogenicity, as we have discussed in this slide. That is the main pyrogenic agent, that is the lipid part and the endotoxin. If one pyrogen, it means that endotoxin enters inside the formulation, and there are salient characteristic properties of the endotoxin that include these are the thermostable. Endotoxin are thermostable. They are not deteriorated, they are not destabilized by the heat, and they are heat stable and water soluble, easily solubilized in the water, equals solubility. And these are the two salient features, along with the unaffected by the common bactericide. If we add or we use the common bactericide, they will be not inactivated or removed by using the common bactericide. That's why the focus is that we have to focus on the particular material, a particular formulation, medicines, or the preparation, that it should be avoided from the entry of the endotoxin, because once the endotoxin enter the pharmaceutical preparation, and in this case it means that we will not able to easily remove the endotoxin from the formulation because of the thermostable nature and because of the aqueous solubility, and one of that is unaffected by the common bactericide. And moreover, these are non-volatile. The endotoxin have the property of the vaporization, and we can easily evaporate it by using the different, but a salient feature or characteristic is that it is non-volatile. That's why they are not removed by using the evaporation method or by using the high temperature or by using the solubility parameter, because these are water soluble. Once these are the reason, that's why the pyrogens, that is the endotoxin is one part of the pyrogens, that is difficult to destroy or removed from the formulation of the product. Once they are they have entered inside the formulation, or once they produce the product. So these are the reason. That why the endotoxin entry should be properly avoided during the formulation, during the storage, or during the preparation. A proper recipes should be followed because of the these salient features or characteristic properties of the endotoxin. Now we will discuss the pyrogen test, that is Unwave test, that is performed on the rabbit, and that is also termed rabbit test. The development of this test, that is the pyrogen test, that is the test for pyrogen, reached in 1920. That a pyrogen test was first of all developed in 1920, and the test was also introduced into the USP 12 by 1942. And 1942 the test was introduced, that become part of the United States Pharmacopoeia, and that is official become official after in the 1942. But remember that first of all it is developed in the 1920, that is performed on the rabbits. Rabbits are used for this test, and remember there healthy rabbits are used, mature and healthy rabbits are used. If they are not healthy, they are always already having the problem or pyrogenicity, or their body temperature rise, they are not normal, they are not healthy, then we will not select those rabbits. That's why we say that mature and healthy rabbits are chosen for performing this test, because their body temperature increases when we pyrogens are introduced into their body through parental route. Because we are going to test the sample, the sterile product, and we are checking if there is any presence of any pyrogens or endotoxin in the sample or sterile product under test or not. That's why we have to select the mature and healthy rabbits. If they have already, we will test before the testing on this test, performing this test on the rabbits or animals. We will select those rabbits which are healthy, which having no problem of pyrexia. If they have already problem of pyrexia and their body temperature rise without, it means that they have they should be rejected, they should be excluded from the test. Remember that the test consists of measuring the rise in body temperature and the healthy and mature rabbits by the intravenous injection, that is injection is given through the marginal vein, that is in the ear, and that particular injection containing the sterile solution of the substance that is under the test, that we have to test, that is given through the intravenous injection, it is in the ear or the marginal vein of the ear, and by this way we will inject. But remember that the rabbits are selected because of this test, that's for pyrogen, because the rabbits having the same body temperature rise that is like the human. That's why rabbits are selected for this test. Temperature elevation and the rabbits under the test is seen for 3 hours, that is overall 3 hours, that is equivalent to 80 minutes. It means that there are 3 hours necessary for performing the test. Ensure that proper aseptic technique should be followed while injecting the sterile product that is to be tested. A sterile solution that is to be injected intravenously, aseptic technique should be followed. You can see this chart that is for the rabbit test, the table showing the number of rabbits. Initially we will perform it on the 3 rabbits, and we will check the body individual temperature of the rabbits rise and degree centigrade. It should not exceed 0.6 degree centigrade, and we will also check the temperature of the animal, that is rabbits, in groups. We combine results. It should not exceed 1.4 degrees centigrade. If it is 0.6 and 1.4 degrees centigrade, it means that the test for pyrogen is passed. If the above 3 animals which we have selected and the individual temperature, either the individual or temperature rise in the group exceeding these values, that is the limit, in this case we will repeat the test on further selecting 5 more healthy rabbits, and it should be healthy and mature. And overall the combined will be 8 rabbits, and we will also check and note the individual temperature rise and degree centigrade of all the remaining 5 and total 8, and we will select also the temperature rise in groups and should not exceed 3.7 degrees centigrade. If these values not exceed and the limit not crossed, it means that the test for the pyrogen is passed. If above test not passes, then we will perform the test again, or we will go through the sources of contamination of pyrogen, and we will point out and we will evaluate that what are the different chances of contamination or sources of contamination, and we will control the contamination from there, rather than the test for the pyrogen will be passed and the same product will be rejected. Because if we provide these products to the market, it means they having already contamination, that is the pyrogen or endotoxin, and anyone dispensing this one administered this solution, this sterile products, then the body temperature will be rising. That's why it is not to be marketed, and it should be rejected. Another test for pyrogen, that is also termed as LOL test, and remember that it is in vitro test, and in vitro test, that is LOL test. LOL stands for lamellus amebicide lysate. That is one of the other method of the pyrogen test, that we are going to determine the pyrogenic endotoxin in the sterile products. Remember that it is in vitro test, while the first one that was on the rabbit, that is in vivo test. As you know that in vitro, that is outside the living tissue or living organism, and in vitro means that is outside the living organism, while in vivo that is within the living tissue or living organism. In this method, the test solution is combined with a cell lysate from the amebocyte, that is blood cells of the amebocyte of the horseshoe crab, and in this case the solution we will take and that we will combine in the lysate solution, and then we will check the results. Any endotoxin, that is the pyrogen, that might be present will be coagulated with protein fraction of the amebocyte, and that thus will result in the formation of a gel. If we combine the test the sample with the ameboside lysate, and if the product having endotoxin, then the endotoxin if present in the product will be coagulated with the protein fraction of the ameboside lysate solution, and this will get finally the formation of a gel will be appear. This considered this test, that is the Dolan test, is considered to be sample one, and it is rapid one, and it is a greater sensitivity that than that of the that is the greater sensitivity that of the rapid test. Let's compare to the in vivo testing, that is sample one. And this we will just select the sample, and we will combine with the lysate solution, that is ameboside lysate, that is from the Haas-Schuh-Kreb, and we will combine with the lysate solution, and we will get the formation of gel or not. On the basis of that gel formation, we will select we will decide that the test is passed if the gel is not formed. If the gel formation occurred, it means that the product of the sample having endotoxin that is coagulated with the proteinaceous fraction of the ameboside, and by this way the gel formation occurred, and the observed gel formation is the indication of the presence of the endotoxin in the products, and by this way we will decide that pyrogen is present, and the pyrogen test for the product or the sample is fed. This is considered one to be sample because we have just to combine both the solution. It is rapid. It is the time taken for the rapid test, that is 3 hours, while for this test the time taken, that is the just 60 minutes or an hour. And sensitivity is more compared to the rapid test. That's why this test is performed nowadays. Mechanism of Flaw test. Mechanism of Flaw test is that is based on the primitive blood clotting mechanism of the Haas-Schuh-Kreb enzyme. The Haas-Schuh-Kreb having enzyme is located with the Krebs ameboside blood cell endotoxin initiation of an enzymatic coagulation that cascade proteinaceous gel. That I have already told you that if we have contamination, that is the endotoxin that is present in the formulation or testing sample, then this will be coagulated with the certain enzymatic enzyme present or protein present in the Haas-Schuh-Kreb enzyme that is located in the Haas-Schuh-Kreb that we have already lysate solution or lard test solution. Then that will ultimately resulted in the proteinaceous gel formation, and this is the indication of the presence of the endotoxin in the formulation. Commercially, we have derived Lal reagent that is present, and that is bleeding adult Krebs into an anticoagulant solution washing, and we can prepare by using this method, that is bleeding adult Krebs into anti-clotting solution in order to avoid the clotting of the blood, and then washing and centrifuging by using centrifuge to collect the ameboside lysine in 3% sodium chloride lysate, and then it is washed and lyophilized or freeze dried for storage activity varies on a seasonal basis, and standardization is necessary. By using the special protocol, we can also prepare or we can also collect the Lal reagent, but it is also available in the market. The Lal reagent is available. The test performance, that how we will perform on the Lal test and Lal reagent test. The test performance in short is avoid endotoxin contamination before the test. If we are going to test and we have not properly following the standard operating procedure and during the process before testing procedure starting, endotoxin may be entered inside the testing solution. That's why we should avoid endotoxin contamination before starting the test in order to get results that is precise and accurate results. Interfering factors should not be present. Those factors which interfere the test performance and the results may be not accurate and precise because of the interference of the several factors. It should be the present should not be present. Equipment should be depyrogenated. The equipment or the apparatus we are using, that should be depyrogenated. If these are not depyrogenated, it means that contamination or the pyrogen will get entered through the equipment. And the special equipment that we are using, that should be free from the pyrogen or the contamination. If they should be depyrogenated prior to the test, because the sensitivity of the lysate should be non-test. The simple procedure will be used for performing this test. Equal volume of LAL reagent and the test solution that we are going to test the sterile product. We will take the equal volume of the LAL reagent, that is already prepared reagent, and we will take the same amount of the sterile solution or the parental solution, usually 0.1 ml of each are mixed in a depyrogenated test tube. The test tube that should be depyrogenated prior to the mixing, prior to the performing the test that I have already told you. And then we will incubate it 37 degrees centigrade temperature for 60 minutes or an hour, and then remove the tube after completion of this an hour and incubation at 37 degrees centigrade for an hour duration of time. Then we will remove the tube, that is the depyrogenated test tube in which we have already mixed the LAL reagent and the sterile tested solution that is to be tested. And then we will invert a swell and one smooth motion, completely 180 degree. At 180 degree we will invert it, and that particular depyrogenated test tube will be inverted at 180 degrees centigrade smooth motion once, and then we will read or observe the result that pass or fail the test. How we will observe the result, that I have told you in the mechanism, that either the proteinaceous gel formation, that is the indication of the presence of the pyrogen or the endotoxin present in the product. If there is lack of the proteinaceous gel formation, that means that the sample or the sterile solution that is under test is free from the pyrogen, and by this way we will select that the test is passed or failed for the pyrogen. We will discuss the advantages of LAL test as compared to the first test that we have performed, that is the in vivo testing, that is on the rabbit test, and the second test, that is LAL test, that is also termed as in vitro testing of the pyrogen. So there are different advantages on the basis of which we will prefer the LAL test, or that is in short LAL test, that is for the lemmaless amebicide lysate test, because lemmaless amebicide lysate, that is from the lysate from the horseshoe crab, that lysate solution is used for this purpose, that having the similar mechanism, that is in the presence of the contamination or in the presence of the endotoxin, the lysate solution having the protein, that is the enzymatic reaction will occur, that reverts in the formation of the proteinaceous gel. That is the indication of the test test, and this test is fast as compared to the first test, that is the rabbit test. And rabbit test 3 hours were given for the testing, but here 60 minutes or it is an hour is given to perform this test. This time taken for this test is fast as compared to the rabbit test. That is 1:3. We will save the 2 hours to perform the lab test for the evaluation of pyrogen and the formulation. Rather than we are going to perform the rabbit test, and which we will take the more difficulties and the selection of the animal, whichever should be healthy, and the time taken for also for the preparation for the performance of the test is difficult as compared to this one. This one is fast. The second one is reason is that the advantage is of the lab test is a greater sensitivity. It is 5 to 10 times more sensitive than the rabbit test. If we perform on the one side the lab test for the pyrogen evaluation, on the second side we are going to perform the rabbit test, the sensitivity of the lab test will be greater as compared to the rabbit test, because 5 to 10 times is more sensitive than the rabbit test. That's why on the basis of the sensitivity we will prefer the lab test. Less variability and much less false positive, and variation in this test is less, and less false positive results are there, and the error chances will be low or minimum as compared to the first one. Another reason for this test, that is the lab test, is that is less expensive as compared to the rabbit test, because in the rabbit test we will select the rabbits and we will purchase it, we will properly maintain their condition in order to ensure their healthy condition, and their food and their restriction is there difficult to handling or acclimatization. That is difficult as compared to this, and we have to control their temperature, and we have to perform the testing procedures as well as this is difficult one as compared to the lab test. Another advantage of the lab test is that it is alternative to animal model, cheaper, and it is more accurate and precise than the other method that is performed in the pharmaceutical laboratory, specific for endotoxin of gram-negative origin, particularly useful for radiopharmaceutical and cytotoxic agent products with market pharmacological or toxicological activity in the rabbit. These are the useful products in this case when it have the market pharmacological or toxicological activity in the rabbit. For example, insulin, blood products which sometimes give misleading result in the rabbit, or water for injection, where lab test is potentially more stringent and readily applied. In these cases, it is alternative to animal. That's why we will prefer the lab test as compared to if we are going to perform the test on the rabbits and having the market pharmacological activity or toxicity in the rabbits, for example, insulin or radiopharmaceutical and toxic agent products. These having the market pharmacological or toxicological activity in the rabbit. In this case, we will select the lab test as compared to the rabbit test. That's all about the pyrogen test, and how we will perform the pyrogen test, and what is the purpose of the pyrogen test, and what is the significance of the rabbit selection, and what is the significance and advantages of the lab test, and comparing the lab test and rabbit test, that which one is preferred and what are the reason behind the selection or preferring the lab test performance rather than the rabbit test. We have discussed in detail the different reason from the past rapidness, sensitivity, variability, expensive point of view, and alternative to animal. If we have animals and that animal that is rabbits, and we are performing the test and the product is radiopharmaceutical or cytotoxic agent are having the market pharmacological or toxicological activity in the rabbit, or sometimes misleading results. The results are not ensured that these results are accurate and precise. For example, water for injection, where lot test is potentially more stringent or more readily applied as compared to the rabbit test. On the basis of these advantages, we will prefer to perform the test, that is the lot test, as compared to the pyrogen test that is performed on the rabbits. Remember that that's a short video regarding the horseshoe crab. You can see that is horseshoe crab and the importance of the horseshoe crab, and you can see Limulus amebicide and Lucef, that is 50 test. There is also horseshoe crab enzyme as selected in the proper way. In the laboratory you can see the solution is prepared, and that is the lol reagent, and 10 times more sensitive, 5 to 10 times that I have told you, and that is the lol reagent that is selected, and that is equal amount are combined, and in this way this solution is prepared, and the test is performed by this way. That's all about the FDA license cartridges. That is also for the testing. Another test that we perform, that is clarity test. Clarity test is also performed and process quality control test for the parenteral, and it is performed to ensure that the parenteral or derived products are free from the visible foreign particles, because there should be free from the viable microorganism from the visible foreign particles. There should be no naked particles which are visible in the formulation. Each parenteral preparation and its final container that we have prepared the formulation, we have formulated, and a final container, then it is subjected individually to a visual inspection by the eye to exclude the possibility of foreign particles. If there is any foreign particles that is visualized in the final container of the preparation in which we have formulated, and final container we have filled, and then final container we will visualize individually to inspect the possibility of the foreign particle exclusion. Excluding will be done in this case if the foreign particles are visualized in this test. To ensure the presence of the visible foreign particle, this test is performed. In this case, the unlabeled container, remember that the containers that is filled for the final formulation, it should be unlabeled. If label is over there, that means that we are creating the difficulties and the visualization, because label will be it will be not possible for us to see over the label. Then the unlabeled containers are held by the neck against the strongly illuminated black background that is selected for light or reflective particles, and white screen for dark colored particles. In order to visualize easily, the background is selected and the black background for the light or reflective particles. To easily see or visualize the particles, and the white screen or white background for the dark colored particle. The contents of the container are slowly inverted and rotated. Then we will examine visually. We will expect that there is any particle, which will be visualized. We will see the particles when we slowly rotate, invert and rotate, and we examine. The background should be selected as we have discussed here. That is, conditions should be maintained. The background, it may be dangerous when the particle size is larger than the RBC. If we have a formulation and there is particle and the particle size of that particular particle present in the formulation is larger than red blood cell, then it may block the blood vessel. If it is injected, it is administered to the patient, it will block the blood vessel because the particle size is larger than RBC. In this case, it is to ensure that because of the danger nature of the particle, clarity test is done. This type of product which having the particle size of any particle should be immediately rejected from the batch in order to avoid the problem, that is the blockade of the blood vessel. The limit test for particulate matter is also prescribed in IP, that is International Pharmacopoeia 1996. It is mentioned the particulate matter, that how much particles are there and what is the limit of particles, and it is applicable for 100 ml or more volume containers of single dose or large volume given by intravenous infusion. This test, that is the clarity test, it is applicable for the 100 ml or more volume than 100 ml container of single dose or large volume parenterals or large volume that is given by the intravenous infusion. It is not applicable for multi-dose injection, single dose, small volume parenteral injectable solution constituted from sterile solid. That's all about the today lecture. That is lecture number 19, entitled as In-Process Quality Control Test for Parenteral, in which we have discussed in detail the pyrogen test and clarity test. Remember that in this particular topic we have discussed in detail the pyrogen test and the clarity test. Let's overview what is meant by pyrogen and the nature of the pyrogen, that may be endogenous or exogenous, and what is meant by the endotoxin and the structure of endotoxin, and sources of pyrogen contamination in the formulation, and the different characteristic properties of endotoxin, and on the basis of these characteristic properties or salient features of the endotoxin, these are the reasons that we have discussed in detail, that pyrogens are difficult to remove or destroyed once they get entered inside the product. Moreover, we have discussed the test for pyrogen, a little overview about the HT that is developed in 1920, and it is become part of the United States Pharmacopoeia. It is introduced into the USP 12 by 1942. And rabbit test, that is test for pyrogen, that is in vivo testing of the pyrogen, and it is solution or the sample is injected through the parenteral route, and then the body temperature rise, and the healthy rabbits or mature rabbits by introduction and by the intravenous injection of the sterile solution of the substance or the sample under the test, and then temperature elevation, and the respect of rabbits, which we have injected intravenously in the marginal vein of the ear. And we will check the 3 hours temperature rise, and the table that I have told you, the individual temperature rise for initially it is for 3 rabbits, and if it is not passed, then further 5 rabbits are more selected, and overall 8 rabbits, and then temperature rise and the groups and individual temperature is noted. If that is the specification or limit exceeded, then the test for the pyrogen will be rejected for the respective product. Test for pyrogen, another one, that is the LAL test, that is in vitro testing. It is alternative of the rabbit test, and that is for the pyrogen evaluation or determination. In this case, the solution is mixed with the cell lysate, that is from the horseshoe crab, and it is rapid and greater sensitivity and sample method of testing of pyrogen as compared to the rabbit test. The mechanism: if the endotoxin is present in the sample, then it will initiate endotoxin enzymatic coagulation cascade proteinaceous gel formation will be occurred by combining the enzymes present in the horseshoe crab lysate, that is combining with the endotoxin, and ultimately proteinaceous gel will be formed. Commercially it is available. If it is not available, we can also prepare the LAL reagents by using the protocol. Equal volume of endotoxin and the sample is combined, and then in the depyrogenated tissue and incubated for 60 minutes at temperature of 37 degrees centigrade, and it is inverted in one smooth motion 180 degrees centigrade, and then it is tested or checked for absorb for the results of the gel formation. If gel is formed, it means that pyrogen is there or endotoxin is present in the formulation. Then I have told you about the advantages of LAL test, different advantages, and clarity test we have studied. For the unlabeled container it is done, and it is to check the foreign particles. It is visible in the parental formulation, and it is difficult if we have clarity test is not performed, then it is a chance of the particle size that is greater than the RBC, and that may cause the blockade of the blood vessel. That may be dangerous for the patient or individual taking the formulation. That's why the type of product having the particles that is visualized by clarity test, that should be rejected from the batch. And this test is also limited prescribed in the IP 1996 and applicable for different 100 ml or more volume parenterals, and not applicable for multi-dose, etc. And references that like man Theory and Practice of Industrial Pharmacy 3rd edition, pages 673 to 675. Thank you all for your attention. Inshallah we will discuss this topic on the online Google Meet class as well. Thank you all for your attention.